Good morning, ladies. Today we are going to identify and compare character traits. You may recognize some of our characters from our article today. Star power. For some stars, when the music stops and the curtain goes down, important issues take center stage. Kids are P. Diddy's cause. Illiteracy makes Faith Hill cry. Tackling problems of inner city kids in the game plan of football star Derek Brooks. U2's Bono strikes the right chord in order to solve Africa's problems, and Angelina Jolie is a star of the United Nations refugee program. Read on to see how these big names use their celebrity to help solve big problems. A rockin' cause. U2's Bono describes himself as a spoiled, rotten rock star. However, he uses his fame to deal with an awfully big problem, Africa's AIDS epidemic and debt crisis. After a benefit concert in Africa in 1985, Bono spent a month working in Ethiopia during a major famine. That experience changed his life. In 2002, he founded DATA, a nonprofit group whose letters stand for Debt, AIDS, Trade, and Africa. The group works to raise public awareness and lobby governments to help combat AIDS in Africa. According to figures supplied by DATA, 6,500 people in Africa die every day from AIDS-related illnesses, and 9,500 people contract HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. Here we go. DATA also lobbies the government of wealthy nations to forgive the debts of African countries. According to DATA, countries in sub-Saharan Africa, the area in the south of the Sahara Desert, and the poorest region of the world, spent $14.5 billion repaying old debts to wealthy nations. That money could be spent on healthcare and education, according to Bono. Hero for the homeless. When Angelina Jolie isn't making big action movies, she's helping the world's 20 million refugees as United Nations Goodwill Ambassador. A refugee is a person who flees to another country to escape danger. Jolie first became interested in the plight of refugees in 1998 while reading the script for a film about a woman who helps refugees. The story so moved Jolie that she traveled to Africa so she could witness firsthand the refugee crisis in war-torn Sierra Leone. Jolie says that trip changed her life. She began to work for the United Nations in 2001. Since then, Jolie has spent 2 months between each of her films visiting refugee camps around the world. She has also donated millions of dollars to the cause. You could die tomorrow and you've done a few movies, won some awards. That doesn't mean anything, Jolie said. But if you built schools or raised a child or done something to make things better for other people, then it just feels better. Life is better. She's got faith. Country music star Faith Hill knows firsthand the devastating effects of illiteracy. Her father never learned to read beyond a 4th grade level. My dad had to drop out of school at a young age to help support his family, said Hill. In 1996, Hill launched the Faith Hill Family Literacy Project. The organization helps collect books, raise money for literacy groups, and increase public awareness about literacy. According to the National Center for Family Literacy, more than 40 million adults in the United States have difficulty reading. That's why Hill has asked fans to bring books to concerts. She and a national restaurant chain also collected more than 1 million books in 3 months. I hope that I can give an adult the inspiration to teach a child to read or give the child the resources he or she needs, says Hill. A good bunch of kids. Derek Brooks owns a shiny Super Bowl ring and is one of the best football players in the NFL. It's his work with kids, though, that makes this star linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers really proud. Several years ago, Brooks began giving money to middle schools and boys and girls clubs in Tampa and St. Petersburg, Florida. He then founded the Brooks Bunch and set aside 24 seats at every Buccaneers home game. He began taking kids on cool road trips to places like New York City, the Grand Canyon, and South Africa. Brooks hopes that seeing new places will inspire kids to think big. Teens in the Brooks Bunch have to keep out of trouble, get good grades, and write papers on why they should be accepted into the group. I want these kids to know that they're shaping their futures right now, Brooks said, and I'm just trying to give back. P. Diddy runs the city. When hip-hop star Sean P. Diddy Combs decides to do something, he hits the ground running. On November 23, 2003, Combs, only after 2 months of training, completed the 26.2-mile New York City Marathon in 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 54 seconds. He was running to raise money for the kids from low-income families in the city. Combs raised more than $2 million. He gave the city's school system $1 million to buy new furniture, books, and computers for schools in poor neighborhoods. Combs says that he wants to even give the playing field for kids in tough neighborhoods. Combs splits the other $1 million between 2 charities. Okay, ladies, so let's now preview our questions before you do your second read. Number 1 says, all of the following character traits describe the stars in the article except, so you got to pick all but one. Number 2, Faith Hill thinks it's really important for people to. Number 3, these kids should know they're shaping their futures right now. Means that kids should know that. Number 4, the only people mentioned in the passage who do not have a difficult plight are. Use your context clues for this word plight here. Difficult, right? That word before it means negative, so plight. Number 5, Angelina Jolie alternates between filmmaking and working in refugee camps. Based on her work in these two fields, what character qualities do you think she has? So now, ladies, in addition to your multiple choice and short response question, make sure you're using ECI and RAP. I want you to either think about this, discuss with a family member, or write down some of these next dot points here. So the first one is write a letter to one of the influential people mentioned in the article. What would you want to ask him or her? What would you want to say about his or her accomplishments? The next one, maybe you have heard about some of these people before. Did you learn anything new today? The next one, who do you think is the most influential and why? So out of all of the people that we read today, I want you to think who had the most influence and why. And then the last one, kind of fun, be creative. Which celebrity do you think should come to the Albany area and why? So maybe think about an issue that Albany has currently and which celebrity would be best fitted for the job. Good luck, ladies, and happy Easter.
So many people expect change in others, expect change in the world, but are never willing to change themselves first. If you want to see change in others, you must first be the change you wish to see. If I want others to be better, I must be better. If I want my loved ones to change, I must be that change. If I want my kids to become a certain way, I must live that way. I must be that example. Not tell them how to be, but be that person. If I want them to be kind to others, I must be kind to others. If I want them to live fully as themselves and not wear any mask to fit in with others, I must be that person, free from fear of judgment and live as I wish to live. If I want them to be giving, I must be giving. Giving of my time, giving of my love, my spirit, my presence. If I want them to be healthy, I must live healthy in every area. If I expect others to be grateful, I must be grateful first. I must show my gratitude. If I want others to live the life they want to live, I must set that example by loving the life that I live. If I want other people to make happiness and love a priority in their lives, I must make happiness and love a priority in my own life. If I expect others to be kind, I must be kind. I must be compassionate. If I expect others to listen and be understanding, I must listen, really listen, and really try to understand. I do expect all these things, so I will live as all these things. I will live as the person I expect of others. I will be the change that I wish to see.